optimize the storage space on your 2014 through 2024 Toyota 4Runner, this Red Rock TRD style roof rack will be a great solution to look into. Now this will be perfect for the 4Runner owner who wants to add some exterior storage space for additional gear, cargo, and other items that you would need for whatever adventures are being taken, whether it's a camping trip or a family vacation. Now this specific option is great if you want a half rack configuration, if you only need a little bit of additional space and don't want to commit to a full rack setup, and you're a fan of the OEM TRD style appearance but want to achieve that look and function at a more affordable price point. Now this rack will come with 4 adjustable slats in the front, as well as a stationary slat in the back, each of them being roughly 1 3/4 inch wide, which is going to provide a lot of support for whatever cargo that you're storing on here. Now they're also going to have some ridges on the top of the slats, which will give it some extra traction to keep all of your items secure. Now speaking of being secure, the sides as well as the back here are going to create a basket style rack on the back portion of this, which will have a 4-inch tall construction. So it's going to keep all of your items cradled thanks to the basket-like construction. Now this is made of a tubular steel construction, offering solid support to heavier items and withstanding the elements and whatever your 4Runner will encounter if you do take it off-road. Now on top, this will also have a nice black powder coat finish to protect the steel and add to that rugged off-road appearance. And it's also going to be a pretty fine textured black powder coat, which adds a premium look to the coating here. Now this will also mount and bolt into the factory locations on the 4Runner, so you're not going to have to do any modifications when it comes time to install this. Now this will come in at about $500, which will make this an affordable choice for a roof rack, especially a factory styled option. Now compared to other options in the category, this will bring that OEM TRD style look without the high price tag and a good amount of support and room for whatever you need without taking up the entire space, and the basket style if you specifically want a rack for gear and not something like a platform rack that will serve other purposes like a rooftop tent. Now I personally think if you want to keep it to the affordable side and know that you want an OE appearance to your 4Runner's mods, then this is going to be a great way to achieve it. As I said, install isn't going to require any modification or drilling, so this will get a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter and probably take you about an hour to get the job done. Now at this point, we can head over to our shop and check out a detailed breakdown on how you can get this onto your 4Runner at home. So that is going to wrap it up for my review. Let's go ahead and jump into the install.
Tools required for this install include a ratchet, a 5mm Allen wrench, a T30 Torx driver, a Phillips head screwdriver, 12mm socket, T30 Torx socket, and a 4mm Allen socket. What's up guys? Today we're installing a roof rack on our 4Runner, so let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is remove our factory roof rails if yours are equipped with them. We need to pop off these plastic covers on the front and the rear, and then we have a couple 12mm bolts that we'll remove and pull these off. So grab a plastic pry tool and get underneath the lip of the outside of the plastic cover and pry up on that. Now it's gonna feel like you're about to break it. We just keep prying until it pops off. And then you can do that same thing on the back one. And then grab your 12mm socket, remove the 2 bolts on each side, and then repeat the same process on the other side. And then do that same thing on the back. So now we're ready to start assembling our roof rack. I've got our main back hoop and our side pieces laid out. We're going to be sliding the side pieces into the main hoop and bolting them down with our 2 M6x15 bolts per side. So now the first thing we're going to do is loosen up these 2 bolts on our bracket. So take a T30 Torx socket to do that. And now with that bracket loosened up, we can slide our sidebar into place and then thread in your 2 bolts. And then you're going to want to pinch your bars together and then take your T30 Torx socket to tighten down those 4 and do the same thing on the other side. Next we can install our crossbars. So what we're going to do is grab our brackets There's one with a threaded plate on the bottom. That's gonna be the bottom. So you can hook that under your bar on both sides. And then drop your bar in there. Get it centered from left to right. And then grab the clamp without that threaded portion and slide that on top. And then take your M6x40 bolts with a flat washer and thread them through the top and into that threaded plate. And then repeat that process for the other 3 bars before you tighten this down, and then we'll space them out evenly and go back and tighten everything. Now next we need to install these covers over our brackets just for a cleaner look. We've got one here on each side and then also along the back. So we've got these 2 tabs up top that you're gonna press in to separate it. And then you have a side with a pass-through hole that your screw's gonna go through into this section in the middle. So I like to put the solid side on the outside just for a cleaner look. And then I'll get that hole on the inside, clip it together, and then we'll grab our screw on the other side to tighten this down. So now take that screw and thread that in. And then you can repeat that same process for the other 3 covers. So now that we have those covers on, we can go ahead and space out and tighten down our crossbars. These covers came out a little bit farther, so that's why we put those on before tightening them down. So for the front and rear one, we're gonna put those all the way up against the plastic and then take a 4mm Allen socket to tighten them down. And then your 2 middle ones, you can just evenly space out. That looks pretty good right there. And then you can take that 4mm Allen socket and tighten these 2 down. Next we can install the mounting brackets onto the front of our roof rack. So we're gonna grab this, we're gonna pull that rubber cover off. That's gonna expose the bolt hole where we've got a nut in there to thread into. Now this is coming bending out, so you wanna get the one that makes that go back straight. If you had the wrong side, it would look like this and it would be bending outward. So slide that on and get the hole to line up. And then once you got your hole lined up, you can thread in your bolt. We're using the M6x40 bolt here. And then take your 4mm Allen socket and tighten it down. And then once that's tightened down, you can slide your cover back onto place and do the same thing on the other side. Now for our rear brackets, we're gonna slide a M6x15 bolt in through that hole. And then I'm gonna take a T30 Torx driver, so I don't exactly have enough room for a socket. Get it threaded into that riv nut and tighten it down. And then do that same thing on the other side. So now grab yourself a buddy, and we're gonna lift this up and drop it onto our factory mounting points. Next we can take our M8x50 bolt with a flat washer and drop it through the hole and thread it into our factory bolt locations. And use a 5mm Allen wrench to tighten it down. And now we're gonna do that same thing on the front here. Drop your bolt down into the hole and take your 5mm Allen wrench and thread that in. And then do that same thing on the 2 on the other side.
So that is going to wrap it up for my review and the install of the Red Rock TRD style roof rack fitting all 2014 through 2024 Toyota 4Runners. And you can find this right here at extremeterrain.com.